go. I do believe we are live. So I'll say indeed. And greetings unto ye, beloved and holy friends. Thank you for joining me on another day, another moment for us to connect, for us to share our different worlds with one another. Today's stream topic is going to be about exactly that. The fact that even though we happen to occupy the same world right now, we live in different ones, right? Conceptually, when it comes to the fact that I get to live my life and the world technically revolves around this life, right? Like I can't live someone else's life, for instance, right? I have to be in my body, living my life for myself. But then also the worlds that exist inside our minds, right? That you can close your eyes, that you have this dream space, for example, you have an imagination. They can be things created in your imagination that is almost like a world in and of itself. And the fact that, we technically, through this inner world model, start shaping this outer world that we share with one another, right? So, how your world is on the inside, the world you kind of occupy, is of utmost importance. And we'll talk about that today. I thank you, friends, for joining me. Thank you for sharing this moment in the open chat. Thank you. Let's see. Shan joining us. It's nice to have you here, friend. Doug Dad. See you too, beloved friend. Kristen, sending you lovin's. Dear one. We have some storms this afternoon, but I brought my inflatable kayak to work for a test voyage in the pond. That sounds so sick. I'm guessing it arrived. I'm happy to hear it. Are you happy with your purchase? I have like a thing here reflecting some of the sunlight, so it's not completely overblown. I don't know if it's working. There's a lot of wind coming past me. It is freezing. If I take this blanket away, the thing might fall over, but let's see. All right. There you can kind of see if I actually block out the sun. It is reflecting a decent amount of light, but the sun wins. Hello, meow meow. We have Roxy coming closer. She's like, bro, what's this? What's this setup you got here? Isn't it a little bit excessive? I see Connor sending you lovin's, dude. What a view. You like the view? It is definitely different. We haven't had this one many times before. I don't know if I'm very happy with it. It feels very like there's too many unnatural elements, at least in my mind. That's the thing that my mind goes to. Sending both of you lovin's, Jovive, Connor, beloved friends. It's a blessing having you here with me. Tell me, what has been happening in your world? Right, that's the point of today's stream, is talking about these worlds that we occupy in mind. What has been present in my world? A guilt, shame. I've had like a little bit of guilt and shame in my world, and I am working on it, trying to get those energies kind of, a little bit more taken care of. But it's interesting to me how, it can be pretty difficult sometimes. We find ourselves in these loops, Oh, fucking shit. Excuse me for cursing. Caught me off guard. I'm sorry. This wind is cutting through my bones, and it is now you can see, yeah, reflecting them lights. I don't know if I can keep this thing up. Not if the wind absolutely, wrecking my shiznit. Let's see if I can put it there. Technically, it's now worse for what it was supposed to be, but at least it's not falling over. Actually, there's a yeah. That might be it. I don't know. I'm gonna try and calm down. Did you get your remedy? I'm still waiting for it, Shan. My mom has been to town like twice now, and she keeps forgetting to like check the patio, the front porch, to see if it actually did get delivered. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, I actually get my remedy. I really want it. Like I'm feeling like I'm missing out on something actually. I'm guessing that it's gonna be here, hopefully today. I'll let you know first thing if it actually. I feel so scattered. Like my mind feels extra occupied. Maybe it's today's stream topic. It is a big one for me. Like it's one of those things that kind of have so many fractals attached to it as well. I'm specifically thinking about this concept of, the inner world, and how much of it can potentially be hello meow meow delusional, right? Like the world, the model of the world I have in my mind, and how at the end of the day that might not be the model of the world that I get to experience. And trying to balance, between how much I believe, what I believe in, what I choose to kind of like commit my energy to, day by day, and how much of it actually is going to come to reality. To speak in a little bit more concise terms, this idea we have of what the future could be and the way we see the world from that perspective, day by day, moving towards that world. What is more important, right? Is it more important that the outside world starts to reflect our inner worlds, or is it more important for our inner world to be more clear, to be understood, to be embraced? Because I do understand that the worldview that I have might be naive, like even impossible, is a word that I'd like to use as well. Makes me think about a poem he wrote a while ago that many people will probably assume that what we're trying to do right now is impossible. That no matter how clear we get on the world we want to create, that it won't be that way. And yet, the way I think of it is reach, right? That if enough of us can simultaneously construct this better world in our minds, it is an inevitability that the rest of the world, will follow suit. Reality is a construct, right? I'm watching kitties chase one another. This reality is a construct of our minds that technically, if you want to get really technical about it, your brain is basically in a black box that is your skull, right? And it has absolutely no physical, at least, interaction with this outer world. And then you have eyes, and you have these nerve endings on your fingers, and you have ears, and you have a nose, and you have a mouth that you can taste with. And all of these things, collectively start to construct this world that we assume is our reality, when ultimately it is still a construction, right? And I really am fascinated by this realness, let's say, right? The realness of the fact that if I see a tree, I can walk up to it and touch it, and you can see that tree, and you can walk up to it and touch it. Yet, I am still curious about what experience is going to arise between me and you, right? Like, depending on how different our worlds are, I feel like 10% of my cognitive ability is being put towards making sure I don't get wrecked by this thing. Just for the sake of light, like you stay there. Stay right there. My world, right? Technically, part of my world now is having to be aware that the wind has an influence, like something I can't see, right? I can't see the wind, and yet I know I can see the outside world being affected by said wind. The trees are kind of swaying. This thing is waving back and forth. Almost crushed me. It almost crushed me like once before we started the stream as well. And that's not a part of your world right now. And yet, technically, now because of it influencing my world, it influences what I'm saying, influencing you in your world, right? And that could now go forward to influence you for the rest of your day. I feel like I'm talking in circles. I want to get back to the point I was trying to make earlier, is the experience, right, that arises within your world. And again, the tree analogy. I can walk up to a tree and touch it and feel something, right? And you can walk up to that tree and feel something completely differently. And I wonder how our inner world, the model we have of the world, influences those feelings. Like if we can all kind of have our inner world tuned to getting feelings of love a little bit more readily than we get anything else, is that going to allow us a certain sense of passivity, right? Where if we find less problems of the world, are we going to solve less problems? And then I try to, keep in mind the AI future that's coming, where maybe even inevitably, most of the problems that get solved won't even be solved by human beings. That we will still have the problems, right? But we will give these problems to things more intelligent than we are. So if that problem, or if the more technical problems can be solved by another world, right? And I do think of AI as occupying a different world, right? That's the way I think of it. I think of the internet as almost a parallel world that's running to this one, right? It's like a space. Like there, you can exist on the internet in a way that you can technically exist in spaces on the world as well. For instance, maybe like let's talk about a festival. You can take your physical form and put yourself in the festival environment, and you can experience that world. And then potentially in the future, maybe there'll be some sort of VR festival where you put on a pair of goggles and you find yourself in that world, right? And even though that underlying energy is the same, the intention, music, connection, people coming together, that will remain. There is going to be some level of difference, and I feel the difference is going to mostly lie with your inner world, right? Not so much of that outer experience, but very much of your inner experience. And if we're going to come back to it, seeing it as a problem, the problem I believe we're supposed to solve is just being okay with whatever is right in front of us, right? To kind of like allow ourselves less guilt and shame in what we're supposed to be doing instead, right? This supposed to, we had a whole stream topic about that as well. The supposed to energy, like, oh yeah, you're not supposed to do that thing that you're doing right now. You're supposed to be doing this instead. I don't know if it will be that clear what we're supposed to do in the near future, right? How do we gain more clarity? How do we as a collective humanity decide what world we want to live in, right? Especially with the amount of difference that there is just in me and you, just the two of us, right? The difference in worlds we live in. And I feel in this space, we kind of want to live in the same world, right? That's why we come together in this moment, because we can see that there is some sort of synchronicity, some sort of similarity in the worlds we want to be living in. And then we show up for it. Is Toast Malos here? He is. Shell joining us too. Jovan and Lovizana. Blessings to you, friends. Thank you for letting me rant for a little bit. The stream topic, it messes with me, all right? It does mess with me a little bit because I feel like it's the actual problem we're facing. Yeah, sure, we're facing, like inequality, poverty in some places and extreme abundance in others. We're facing problems with greed, the gluttony of humanity sometimes. But I feel the underlying problem is just the difference in worlds and maybe our inability to access each other's, right? That it's very difficult for me to occupy your world, even though we live in the same world, right? Like for instance, we can like make this very clear example that I've been experiencing as of late. People cutting down trees, right? To one person in their world, cutting down this tree makes sense to them, right? That's what they want to see in their world. They see the same world that you do. They see the same tree that you do. But in their world, that tree isn't supposed to be, right? Where in your world, that tree is a friend, an entity that's supposed to stand there. It is, spent its whole life growing to be the tree that it is in that moment. And now trying to occupy, right? Trying to reverse from your perspective of being the tree lover to being the person that, wants this tree gone. Sometimes we don't even want to occupy that world, right? It's like we don't want to feel what it's like to want to chop things down, right? And I feel like that's kind of the problem we're facing right now. It's like we're fighting ourselves without knowing what it is we're fighting, right? Like what is it we're actually fighting? Today in my journal, I wrote greed and gluttony, right? That's technically what I feel I have been given access to as my inner darkness, greed, gluttony, and I should probably have added wrath, what I didn't. Now in hindsight, I think I should have. That again, integrating your shadow, realizing that you're capable of all of these things that you might be angry at humanity for, those worlds, if you will, exist within you as well. It allows you a little bit more understanding. Doesn't make it any better, but it might make it easier for you to handle the difficulty that comes along with it. You stay. Don't you dare. My mind, like I feel like I'm existing in two planes of existence. Three technically. I'm existing in this plane of existence, and then I'm also existing in the plane of existence that is hyper vigilantly watching that thing, and then also this stream space that I'm also like trying to occupy. I'm gonna say lovings to you, friends, again. Jovan, blessings to you. I just woke up and used the body. Good. I hope it was a good one. You will have it soon, Melt, I'm sure. Would you consider doing voice work for a future animation? 100%. I would give you all of my labor for free, even, Connor. I don't even want money. All I want is to create things. Yes, sign me up, coach. Put me in, coach. Let me do voice. I would love that, dude. You want to come sit on my lap? You're just going to look at me like I'm insane? Pippi is doing the thing where she's like, you want to do this? You want to sit on my lap? Should I move this for you? Are you worried about this foot being crossed? Should I do this? Is that better? Looks more comfy? Peppi kiss? You're causing me anxiety, yo. I want to help you, but you don't seem. She just wants pets. There you go. Like how the tail stops instantaneously. It's like, where did you stop? She also likes laughing. Sweetie girl. Yeah, okay. Okay. There you go. Sweetie patweetie. So yes, Connor, please put me in, coach. Connor is the land being scaped today. Stay cool. It's hot AF. Blessings. Thank you for being such a duck dad. Do stay hydrated, dear friends. Stay out of the heat if you can. Take care of yourself. We need you. Joy, I'm using the potty 83.5% of the time we talk. It's too much information. Love you, Shell. Yeah, we just got done with our job and we're about to set up for a big house in Angola. You too, brother. Love is true. To me, it makes more sense for the world to be formed from the inside first, then out. Completely agreed, Shan. I'm happy that you're echoing that sentiment as well. That was like today's journal fractal of like writing about, yeah, sure, we want to create a new world, but only by honoring ourselves, honoring our inner worlds, getting really good at perfecting that space first. And then we can kind of like move on. I'm watching kitties climb trees. I feel like I have a good view. Let me show you, friends. That's a scene as well, right? You see them? Kitties and trees. Trees and kitties. Parkour kitties. They really love that tree. It falling over was probably the best in a possible case scenario to them. Different worlds, right? Like, think about that. Like, in my world, climbing up in that tree is an impossibility, right? Like, there's no way that I'm going to climb to where they are right now in that tree. And yet, to them, it's so a part of their world. There's nothing strange about it, even. It just is. Roxy parkouring, like, on such thin branches. Kitty kitties! I'm gonna read some comments while you friends watch kitties. I'll let you know if I'm happy with my purchase after I determine I can float. Thank you, dude. I got blueberry muffin smoothie from the newfound owner, from the new family-owned smoothie shop by my house. It's wonderful. That does sound nice. Blueberry muffin smoothie. Do they put muffin batter in the smoothie? Like, I've never heard about muffin as a smoothie ingredient personally. Sounds nice, Doug. Mel, Louisiana, blessings to you, friend. I have to go to the post office 20 minutes in each direction because apparently $12 shipping for expensive pruning parts gets it shipped to the post office, not the actual delivery address. Nice. That's basically South African shipping as well, if it comes from America, no matter how much you pay. I told Swampy Joe it's a trap to catch me. You think they're gonna try it, detain you if you get there? Hopefully not. Loving to you, Jovan again. Joe, that was great. The little emojis. You friends will have to experience it for yourself. It really is, so mindful. Thank you for taking that effort, Jovan. Kitty's out of the trees? No. Roxy is still firmly where she used to be. I see Shelby is trying to make her. Yes, see, that was pretty cool actually. I have to believe that they're doing this intentionally, right? Trying to help me out. Let's see if Shelby's gonna jump to that other branch. Checking the bottom of the ground, being like, if I fall, how hard will I fall? Oh goodness. I feel like I'm lost a little bit. It was harder than I thought it would be. I miss Louisiana. Little bunny with music. I think it's perfect. Thank you, Louisiana, for doing the same. We must never forget Lois. We never will. She'll always be a part of the space. Oh, we're typing the same thing. Love you. So much love. Yes, we were. It just takes a while because the cursor keeps resetting itself. Love you too. The tree is impossibly happy. Look how fluffy and green it is. I mean, if you check out, like the bottom, you'll see, it's like sprouting new little branches. Like it wants to live. It's like so bad quality, but it's enough to see that there's new greens, growing even at the bottom. This tree is not done for. Still has some living left to do. I'll switch back now though. Yeah. Melita the stick is not only good for twirling, but it can also add as an extension for me to be able to move this camera around when I can't reach it with my hands. That's what this year of 7 means. We work on our inner world so that the next year, the year of 8, we will be ready for the abundance will be allowed as a result of the inner work. I feel like the inner work has been difficult for me, Shan. Like I've been working harder than ever to kind of like do it well. It's like it's extra challenging, right? Like I know that the inner work this year is what I've been working hardest upon. And yet at the same time, it's harder than it's ever been. I don't know if it's harder than it's ever been, to be completely honest. It just feels very at the forefront of my mind, might be a better way to articulate it. It's like it's very present that I'm facing the same problems I've been facing most of my life. And it's like I'm getting a little bit, we have a word in Afrikaans called gatvol. It's like getting frustrated, but a little bit more anger, right? Like add some anger to frustrated and you have gatvol. Like I'm feeling a little bit gatvol, like frustrated and angry with myself, not succeeding, right? And then that anger kind of paints a negative picture of my inner world about my outer world, and then that kind of like makes me spiral sometimes. Hello all, Nancy. Blessings, dear friend. I don't want any money. I just want to be creative. Mel, that struck a chord. I love you, Nancy. Thank you for resonating with that as well. Right? I feel like there are so many people in the world that have that as a sentiment, right? Like, we don't need that much money. Like, I feel, the amount of capital that is necessary for all of us to have enough food to eat, a place to sleep, energy, a community, and healthcare is a fraction of the amount of money being spent. At least totally, right? It's a little bit more than a fraction. I mean, technically, a fraction could be 9 out of 10, right? So it's still technically a fraction. But I feel, like those things are kind of like base. Like those are the things that are ultimately necessary before a person can truly be creative. And I'm not sure that's exactly true, because there are plenty of people who have been able to be creative, without community, without healthcare, without energy, without food to eat, technically, without a place to sleep. But I can guarantee it makes it easier. If you don't have to worry about these base level survival things, it allows you a new level of priorities. Being creative, being consistent, right? Like it's easier to be consistent with a certain energy that is creative, when you're not worried about your survival, right? Which is a little bit more applicable, realistic, tangible. Thank you. Thank you, Lovisana, for manifesting abundance into my world. I honor you and I appreciate it so much. Money is still nice, right? I won't lie. Still nice earning capital, right? Especially with me wanting tools, right? Like that's my big thing. Like I feel most of the capital I ever earn is just going to be purchasing more and more elaborate tools so that I can make more and more elaborate things. Hey, Maxine. Nice seeing you too, dear friend. Thank you for sending so much love to all of our friends as well. I looked up the arborist classes with tree climbing. 1,100 bucks plus 3 days travel, maybe in a few years, sadly. Classes with tree climbing. Yeah, the 3 days travel, might end up costing you like 1,000 bucks as well, probably, or something. I mean, like I get that you're saying maybe in a few years, sadly, but I think more important than looking at the price is looking at the return. If you do go for that class and you know what the going rate is for arborists, figuring out, how quick your payback time is, might be a good way to kind of like think of it as like a business venture or an investment. I think a good greeting for Connor would be a heart explosion, exploding heart. Like I don't know about you, Louisiana, but the orange heart, at least in me, is the emotional part, right? Thank you again for the lovin's. Every time I see Melita, I just think of Shell asking how long you're going to hold on to that breadstick. Just holding on to it, resisting the breadstick. This breadstick has come a long way. Strong breadstick, even. That's the agrimony for you, Mel. You're forced to confront all the things. I know what you mean, though, but it will get better with time. You've been working on all of the things of remedies for a year and a half now. I've been working on all the things with remedies for a year and a half now. It was difficult at first, but it does get easier as you go. I trust. I trust that it will. I did kind of put my foot down again today. I'll see if I'll stick through it. Like it's been difficult for me, right? Like I do believe in my ability to be strict, to be disciplined, right? I think that might be a better word. But it's been difficult for me to be disciplined these days. I feel like I'm still doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm still honoring my commitments, but it's harder for me than ever to honor new commitments, right? And I don't know if it's because I value my current commitments more than I value new ones. Maybe that's one reason. Or if it's because I'm weak. Right? That's how I'm articulating. It's like you're fucking weak. Oh, get strong. Stop being so weak. Estian says to Mel. Someone say coffee? Yo, hey Sam, loving to you. You are summoned. It's nice having you. Oh, that's some good snack. I've been here since the start of the stream, just lurking until I chewed my vibe correctly. There is no expectation, as you know, dear Maxine. We love you and we value everything you give. Right? Thinking about you giving your world so that you can experience this moment alongside us. I appreciate that. Kelly joining us as well. Air kisses to you too. Just found a baby Eastern painted turtle in my customer's pond. No clue how it got there, but it makes me happy. They do move, right? Like when they get born and they grow to a certain age, they do have an incentive to move away from the place that they were raised. I don't know if that's the correct way to articulate, animals growing up, but essentially there is a biological slash evolutionarily advantageous energy to moving away from the place that you used to be. Finding all of them, lady turtles. For gunners, I was thinking of cartoon sound effect like bam, zow, blessings. Don't get too invested in judging yourself after about being disciplined, Melty. Being imperfect is part of the human condition. In my eye, in the eyes of the divine, we're all perfect. I heard a beautiful quote yesterday. I think it was called on Young Sheldon or something, where a rabbi told him, like I'm butchering it right now. Basically, this kid, and it doesn't really matter that it's Young Sheldon, a child, was stripping himself out about who he was supposed to be, how he was supposed to show up and what that means, right? And he was trying to change himself to be more like someone he idolized. And the rabbi told him, one day when you die and you come in front of God, God isn't going to ask you, why weren't you? And the example that they used was, why weren't you Einstein? Right? Why weren't you Einstein? If God will ask you anything, if there is something to be asked, if anything, God will ask you, why weren't you enter your name here? Why weren't you Meltmore? Right? Like you had all of this possibility in your life. Why were you never yourself? And that really did strike a chord with me. I was like, I don't have to be like anyone else. I just have to be authentically me. And I can do that, right? That doesn't sound like too tall of an order. I can do that. And unfortunately, Maxine, there is a part of me that I have attached a certain level of self-identification with discipline. All right. Discipline has been a big part of my life. And it has allowed me a lot of progress in many things. But it feels difficult these days, right? And I feel like I might not be the only one that is having trouble with that. But I know that I'm falling behind, right? At least in the ego mind, that there are people who manage to be disciplined right now, even though I'm not being disciplined, and that bothers me. My ego doesn't like that. It's like, no, you need to get good, need to get more discipline. Whew, this wind is cold. Putting my foot down too. I decided to tea break at least until I turn 30, which is in 9 days. Wish me luck. I'm also tea breaking. How about that? I'm tripping out right now, Jovan. Like literally this morning, I wrote about that in my journal. I'm like, bruh, you need to stop, oh. Because for me, unfortunately, and I'm noticing this pattern. Smoking weed also comes with being a little bit more lax when it comes to my consumption of food. All right, like if I smoke weed, it makes it harder for me to say no to that part of myself that wants to eat excessively. And I like weed, I really do, and I feel I value the energy that she provides, but I don't think I can continue doing it the way I have been, right? And it's been better, right? Like I stopped smoking completely during the day, only smoking, after I'm done streaming and all of my work is done. But still, it's like, and I wrote about this, this morning. Like it feels like there's a split personality in me, right? Where there's the dark side and then there's the light side. And I get to be the light side of myself for most of the day. And then as soon as the sun goes away, the dark side of me comes out. And that dark side of me, doesn't listen to the light side of me. Like the light side of me knows what the right decision is, right? The right choice, the right way of living is. And I'll be articulate about it. I'll understand the steps. I'll understand what needs to be done. And then the dark side comes out, and it's like all of that work, completely melts away, and there's nothing to show for it. So I put my foot down as well. Blessings, Xiao. I'm sure you'll manage. 9 days. 9 days. Now that you mention it, 9 days is the 20th. Let me know. Let me know the exact date. There we go. Maxine asked as well. It's the 20th, Beansy. I'm adding it to my calendar so that the technology can remind me. Here we go. Boom. My digital brain shall remember forever. And you've actually showed me what discipline and commitment is, Melty. More than any other human, the days where I'm low, I reflect upon you, Melt, because you have such discipline and dedication to show up for us. We're doing it together at this point, Maxine. It's like I do value the amount of discipline I have, but I feel like I've outsourced some of that discipline to you, friends. Right? Where it's like, yeah, I have to do this, or I decided I'm going to do this, but also I want to because I know there will be you, right? And I get to share this world with you, friends, and we get to participate in it together. Now, I think something Ariel tried to eat turtle and dropped it here. Oh, how about that? The baby turtle was way too small to make it where it is now. Okay, so we're still a baby, actually. I didn't think it was that small. I thought baby, at least in your world, was just small turtle. Not like actual baby, like a small little one. I'm happy that he survived, though. It makes me happy. Okay, tea breakers. Let me ask you something. Are you taking a break because other people's consumption compared to yours makes you think you have a problem? Nope. Or because you want to break? Yes. For me, it's more. I don't think I'm smoking more than I'm supposed to. Like I'm smoking less than a gram a day. Maybe even, yeah, at most a gram a day, which is not excessive, at least in my mind. But, but there is certain behaviors that come along with me smoking, specifically eating food, right? And more specifically, after I've eaten enough food, right? I've already had my calories, and then still being overwhelmed by this inner narrative of eat more food, do it, do it, do it, do it. And it's like a struggle. It's like an internal battle that I have to continue fighting, and can be pretty exhausting. This doesn't feel like I get any leeway. And I don't know if weed's helping for that because it makes me soft. It makes me okay, right? And that's why I started smoking weed in the first place, is that feeling of, I am okay. Things are okay. You're doing fine, right? But I don't think so. I don't think I'm doing fine, right? So now smoking weed, adding like if you're like completely erect, right, and you're having a hard time loving yourself, I feel that's where I used to be, and that's why I started smoking weed in the first place. It allowed me that energy, but now I've reached a certain level of self-love, where discipline and the outcome of discipline is what I see as a true act of self-love more than I have before. And it's like I'm robbing myself of that self-love by loving myself, right? In different ways. It's like a little bit of a confangle, some mental gymnastics that I have to do, but it's still, I feel something that I need to change. It's not a comparison thing, at least for me. It's Joe Bot birthday signing that. Yes, do that, Maxine. I did the same. It's the second thing, fine. But if it's the first thing, we need to have a talk. Agreed. Right? The comparison doesn't help. Yeah, you want to come to my lap? There you go. Mm-mm-mm. Kelly, I listened to that podcast episode this morning. Glenn Dole interview Catherine May on why so many women don't know their district. Yeah, I love you too. Oh, I love you, love you. My little Peppy Woofter. It was so good, Holy. I feel, like I'm guessing, they were probably talking about the whole masking, you know, that women are better at masking, pretending to be something they're not, to fit in socially. And then they get misdiagnosed or not diagnosed at all. I've not been using it beneficially and falling into a habit. I need to regain control and my mindfulness. Bless. Thank you, Joe, for echoing that. Agreed. I feel the same thing. Are you smoking recreationally or therapeutically? It's a good question to ask. Joe, that's wild. A good friend of mine also has that birthday. Get to remember both. I wish I could throw you a party, Joe. We'll celebrate her in stream. Let me see again. Okay, it's gonna be a Thursday. I was hoping it was a Wednesday for a second. We'll celebrate her the day before. Louisiana, I'm glad it struck a chord. The amount of times I literally stopped dead in my tracks to rewind and listen again to that group of women is beyond counting at this point. Things worth saying, right? Things worth hearing again. Joy, being with you every day is a party. There we go. I'm so happy you told us your birthday, Joe. I felt like it was coming up soon. Now you're officially in my calendar. Save for me. Misa, I've been doing kinda both, but mostly recreationally, filling me with bubbles. We love you, Joe. Like, what does recreationally mean to you, friends, right? For me, the therapeutic effects of weed is just the ability to be soft, to be okay, to be calm, right? And that's usually why I smoke weed. I don't smoke it during the day anymore. Is if you start smoking it early in the day, is that recreational? I'm guessing. That's the way I'm interpreting at least. Mm-mm-mm-mm. Tea break. So it works again. A tolerance break for tolerance sake. Exactly. Mel, don't eat when you're high anymore. Bury that reward pathway and start toking before you work out or before you yoga. Just not before you eat. Agreed, Kelly. I believe that's the way it should be. I do, like smoking before I exercise as well. But it's like as you mentioned, it's like a reward pathway where sometimes, especially if I get deep into like binges, it's like, oh, you have stuff to eat, but I'm gonna smoke some weed before I start eating, And then there's like this reinforcement network is happening in your brain where it's like, if smoke, then eat food, right? That I'm trying to take away the if smoke, you know, so that I can take away the then eat food as well. At least that's what I'm trying to do right now. We'll see how it goes. It's always a battle. I've learned to view weed more as a medicine the older I get. I can smoke way less and I feel it working its magic on my body. Just like any medicine, you dose accordingly. That's good. But that doesn't mean I don't enjoy a blunt to myself every once in a while as a luxury. Agreed. I really enjoy the feeling, right? But I feel I am missing the social aspect of it, right? I really do enjoy smoking in the stream with you friends as well. But at the same time, like it is a dual-edged sword, right? It cuts really well on the access of the energy we get to share, but it also takes away some of the clarity that I value in my life sometimes as well. Doesn't join. Is there a legitimate need for it? I'd counsel against cutting it completely. A mindful microdose, like a cup of pot tea, isn't smoking and won't trigger the habit. But we give you what you need. But we'll give you what you need. That might be one way to do it, Sam. I feel like we went through like 2 weeks, like a while ago of me not smoking at all. And I noticed a certain amount of energy coming along with that, like a lot of energy, a lot of clarity, right, in my mind and the way that I think about things. but at the same time, also a lot of criticality. Not a word, I don't care. I was very critical, you know, dangerously so, of myself, and I couldn't relax. I was in the state of not anxiety necessarily, but hyperactivity almost. And that's why I kind of went back to just have myself capable of that energy of relax. But now that I'm almost too relaxed, I feel like I need that energy of hypervigilance again. You know, the clarity needs to come back. Rose blunts? Yeah, you can actually add rose petals to blunts, I believe. Self-love and discipline resonate. Weed and eating. Think I need to switch to edibles instead of toking and see if there's a difference. I feel like one thing that can work as well is like intermittent fasting, where you just make like strong rules in your mind of like, yeah, you can eat food, but only in this time period, you know, and then you maybe do your weed outside of that time period, so you can like kind of like separate those two fractals as well. I read not too long ago that the cannabinoid THCV has been shown to stabilize glucose levels by improving glucose tolerance and regulating insulin levels. It also suppresses appetite. I know there's a new peptide, something glutamine. There's a new peptide that kind of like suppresses hunger as well. So sunny today. Yeah, I actually like specifically came and sat in the sun because it's still freezing. Like I'm cold right now, having the sun blast my back this whole time and having a little blanket up. The wind hasn't been helping, but I'm happy to be baking in the sun and also to be outside with you friends. Rose blunts, that sounds lovely. And I don't even smoke. Like, yeah, man, pretty sure King Palm does them, but you can find more variety on Etsy. I'm missing context. I've never had pot tea. That sounds like a lovely evening. Does it actually work? Wait a second. I'm seeing a I'm seeing a badge next to Jovan's name. Are you one of the supporters on the YouTube side now as well? I'm guessing that's what it is there. What a blessing. Thank you, Joe. I didn't even know. Like YouTube didn't send me a message or anything. No, nothing. Thank you. Bless. Thank you so much. I have Melita the Stick and Melita on stream as well. Blessings to you, dear friend. I was just gonna add that if you're gonna drink pot tea, you might want to add some sort of fat, you know, like maybe like some coconut oil, because technically THC isn't water soluble, at least, you know, as far as I know. Melt, what if you're wanting to eat when high? Why not do some intense cardio? I get high and dance or run or climb stairs. You could lunge across the entirety of your yard. I feel like the cold is kind of making it difficult for me to go outside right now, Shell. I feel like that's also like adding to the excess eating and, you know, like almost like what's the word I'm looking for? Not stationary. Is it stationary? Sedatory. No? Sedatory? I'm having a hard time wording today. Just like energy of, nah, I don't want to do anything. I don't want to. Haven't been outside for a couple of days now. You see. Oh, well, Melt. Did I miss something? I'd love to switch with you. It's almost 40 degrees here. I would happily give you some of my cold. Mel, where are you? This daywalker would be in hiding in the basement in those temps. So cold. Or so hot. Okay, Grandma Sophie's tea. There we go. 2 tablespoons of butter. Exactly. 2 cups of water. Measured dose of pot. Chosen often tea bag. Chosen other tea bag to provide flavor. Smother the wheat of butter. Put in pot. Simmer. And let sit for 30 minutes and then trip. Yeah, you're gonna have to need the fat. Haven't been outside for a couple of days now. So much lovin's. Sending you blessings. I'm happy to be in your world, you know. You might not go into the outside world, but here is the outside world coming into your space right now. I'm sending you lovin's. Right, Sam. It offers a neuroprotective and bone growth protection. There are some strains that are higher in THCV too. I wonder. I don't think mine has any. At least the way, as far as I know. Then strike that. Beach cocktails and often dips for the win. I've wanted to go for years. It's so beautiful. Croatia. I'm looking forward to being able to go one day as well. Fuck yeah, cannabis. Those of you who say that coconut oil provides more extraction, its low smoke point does not make it an ideal infusion fat. Oh, I didn't know that. The reason I use. Are you sure it's low smoke point though? I thought it was higher smoke point. But I'm guessing it's just like a matter of how many open spots it has to actually absorb cannabinoids. Man, I feel so scattered today, friends. I'm sorry. I want to be more present with you, friends. I really want to try with coconut oil next time. Like that's how most of my, cannabis trips have been. Like I usually extract with coconut oil because it has like a little bit of a longevity thing as well. Like butter can get sour. Like I've made cannabis oil with butter as well. But if you try to keep that, it can go sour. It doesn't go bad. Like you can still technically eat sour butter, but yeah, it's not a good time. Like you're not having a good time eating sour butter. Like your body lets you know that something is wrong. Yeah, I think something's wrong with this butter, dude. I feel like I'm gonna not eat it. Get it out of myself. All coconut oil isn't food grade. It's true. Yeah, make sure it's not bleached. Right? If you can get cold pressed, unrefined coconut oil, that's probably gonna be the best bet. They bleach a lot of our oils. Ghee works like that. Yeah, it probably would. That's for damn sure. Also want to try. Probably use ghee. Exactly. Yeah, clarified butter. Hey, John is joining us too. Beloved brother John, sending you lovin's, man. You're just in time for a card to be pulled. Phew! I'm freezing outside here. It's still cold. Like it's no less cold today than it was yesterday. And the wind is still strong, but I thought if I sat directly in the sunlight, it's gonna be bearable. I think it was. Like I did get some heat from the sun at least. You for clarified butter. No less or no lactose, so less complications. Exactly. Yeah. Ted bought me some coconut oil from Walmart, and it tastes like motor oil. Cease. It's true. The wind is almost colder, but there's a lot more sun. It's true. Like the wind is freezing, dude. Like keeps taking the heat from me. Please, wind, let me keep my warmth, dude. I looked at the cards. Now I have to like shuffle it again. I looked for it for a second, and my mind believes that even if you look at it for like a split second, your brain technically retains that information. So now I have like a possibility of picking a card that I don't intend to, or might be not too random, not random enough. Giwiti. I'm just imagining like Grandma Zhou asking one of her maybe asking one of her grandkids when they're in their 20s, you want some giwiti? It's like, what the hell is that, Grandma? Shh, don't worry about it. Just say yes or no. Get some giwiti for you. Yellow and green. Let's see. Checked your channel yesterday. Glad you're putting yourself out in the world. Thank you for celebrating John as well, Kelly. His voice is beautiful. That sounds like a rare video game poultice that grants eternal life, right? Giwiti. I love that word so much. Joy. It didn't snow today. No, sad me. No clouds today, just icy wind. Yeah. We're just getting the after effects. This is the card. Let's see. Maxine predicted yellow and green. Cold and windy here too. I still did yoga outside. Proud of you, but I'm wearing so much clothes. Yoga has been pretty painful as of late, but I feel like my mind is at least going into the fractal of like, yes, if I'm cold, that means my cells have to like burn energy to keep me warm. So I'm expending calories. That would drive me insane, Lois. Didn't you say purple yesterday? I think you said purple yesterday, and then we ended up pulling a yellow card. We pulled card number 10. No, 9. Yeah, 9 yesterday, green. Today I did. Today there is some yellow in here, but it's mostly purple. There we go. Yeah, it's mostly purple. Look at that yellow lightning bolt coming down. There's doves flying all around. There's eyes coming out of hearts. Hands held as a prayer, as a peace offering. Yeah, another pajamas groupie. So much lovin's. I think I said it's Sunday. Yoga is painful, Mel? Is it because your joints are cold? No, it's just because it's cold. Like the cold is painful, right? Like there's like just like my little limbs, like the amount of goosebumps I get during the yoga these days have been mildly painful. Like I don't like the cold particularly, even though I do subject myself to it a lot. Still no more present, the day after. I feel like this is a message to me as well. Live peace, pray peace. To allow myself a moment of peace, because I'm really not allowing myself peace in this moment, because I feel like I'm not as there as I'm supposed to be. Isn't there some non-misery, including indoor space, that you can do that in? Unfortunately, no, because there is a space, technically, like I have a yoga space, but it's not in Wi-Fi range, so I can't do my class there. I've been thinking about it as well. I've been thinking about other places that I could potentially do it. I could actually do it in the like sitkamer, the seating room, which would be a little bit warmer at least. Okay, I'm here for this. Let me embrace one more time. Live peace, pray peace. Depicted on this card are vortices of peace doves spiraling over a background of dark storm clouds. The hearts are created by golden spirals and form the core of intention held by hands seeking peace. As we view world events in these times, it is disheartening to hear of war, conflict, and aggression. Many feel powerless, incapable of action, and defenseless in the face of the outrage. How? Like, I'm tripping out about the inner world thing, right? Today's whole stream topic. How can we be empowered? Both quantum physics and metaphysical thought affirm that by our intention, we create our own reality. There it is. No matter how dark it may seem, humankind is evolving. This card symbolizes prayers offered with the conscious intention of peaceful hearts everywhere. Your friends' peaceful hearts. To shift from darkness and fear to love and compassion. It advises you not to lose hope, thank you, but rather to live peace in whatever way you are able. By your actions and intentions, you will accelerate the process of creating true peace. Both your prayers and your efforts in the community to actively live peace and support those who are like-minded will aid in shifting the balance. In so doing, recognize that you are assisting the evolution of consciousness towards a world in which peace is truth and not solely a dream. Even said the world. Man, this card feels so synchronous. Live peace. Pray for peace. Please, humanity. Put the war stick down. So much war. It breaks my heart. We can feel powerless. And yet, we're not. because ultimately the world that we're a part of is our own. Right? This is our world. Sweetie patootie. That I might be powerless to stop the war in Ukraine right now, but I'm not powerless to love those who I have in my life. Mush, mush, mush. Thank you for the warmth. Love is true. Love is true. I feel like it's more difficult than ever these days to believe that, especially with the amount of difficulty that it can, be to continue. But I'm proud of you, friends, for helping in creating a better world. It's gonna take time. It might take our whole lives, right? But if there's more people to come giving our lives, not in the death kind of way, but more in the living kind of way, might be the best way to make it better. What deck is this? It's called Sacred Geometry Cards for the Visionary Path. That's enough time to take a screenshot or, read it. It's overcast and rainy here, 55 degrees Fahrenheit. I feel like that is not too warm. 91 degrees, and it's a humid garden. Cold, please. Sending you all of the cold I have. Just double checking. Rabbit, your low is correct. It's true. Yeah. What did Joy Vive just post? Getting redirected. Nurturing. Oh wow. This is Francine Hart. This is the lady who created these cards. And the first thing I see is another one of her works of art. There's her face. Look at how happy that lady is. One of her cards as well. I don't have this one in my deck, unfortunately. Here's another one of hers. Like, she's an artist. Like, she makes such beautiful works of art. I feel like that is Maxine. Hehe. Here's Jovan's card. Card number 34, excuse me. We were talking about the turtles as well, to deduct that. Yellow and green energy, Maxine. This one is also not on my deck. Mermaids and dolphins. Thank you for sharing this, Joy. This is so cool. Francine Hart is an internationally recognized visionary artist. She utilizes the wisdom and symbolic imagery of sacred geometry, a reference for nature and our interconnectedness to all that is. Her work acts as a bridge between this reality and dimensions of healing and transformation. She is an artist and an author of the Sacred Geometry Oracle Deck, Visionary Path, and the Nature of Sacred Geometry coloring book. Francine joyously resides on the big island of Hawaii. I'm not surprised that she lives in Hawaii. New Earth. Apparently there's a lot of energy there. She made the Sacred Geometry book and deck. Thank you, Joy, for sharing that with us. I love that busy bee flower. It's beautiful, right? It's too cold for the kalimba today. It's fine, just checking. Of course, her last name is Hart too. Of course, right? Like, she was meant for that, fractal that she created in. Let's do some kalimba for you. I will weather the cold for you, friends. I will literally traverse the world. I will fly into the sun if it means sharing love with you, friends. The healing power of the Meltmore community. The healing power of you, dear friend. All we do is help you recognize your truth. That there is no truth without your world being a part of it. At least that's what I believe. I'ma need that coloring book. Get it. Get it. Support Francine Hart. Send her love. A windy melt. Yes. This is the way it was yesterday as well. And I decided to go inside for that reason. I was less wise today. So today's stream might be shorter. But we'll play some kalimba first. Maybe I can share. The sun setting. I think the sun has set. Yeah, sun has set, but it's still shining on them clouds. Maybe I can do this. There you go. Yeah, that's a better scene. You get to see my hair like a little bush. I am but a plant. I am mushroom growing out of the ground. Mushroom that plays kalimba. Hot diggity damn. The wind was like, ah, I see you're kalimbaing out there. Would be a shame if we added the intensity of a million glaciers to the wind that is actively cutting through your bones. Y'all see random weirdo white spot in melt sky? I don't, at least on my side. Maybe it's a lens flare. Oh, this one. This. Nope, that's my. Is it my screen? Is it my screen? No, no. That's lens flare. Yeah, science. Okay. Uh, a beautiful monarch butterfly landed next to me while I'm working this pollinator garden. It was the best thank you of the universe could offer. The universe sees your efforts and celebrates you, dear friend. Love is true. Y'all see the random weird spot. Why you hide films? They say something naughty? Hopefully not. I see it, Beansy. Is it aliens? Melt would be pleased. If it were, I would be so pleased. I'd be like, yeah, the aliens are watching. The aliens be vibing with the Calimbers. Just seeing aliens, bumping. Straight up head bopping. Quick pass over the tinfoil hats. Thank you, Mel. Thank you, Shan. Is it getting bigger? If you see them, it's really. Don't lick me, please. Thank you. It's like when it was the bands are pulling up. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all. So very, very superest, the duperest, immeasurably macho grande, vastly, tremendously, mega massively dearly. Melt and all of you. Oh, so wonderfully, so very wonderfully, amazingly, extraordinarily, remarkably, impressively, staggeringly, marvelously, magically, remarkably. I missed one of them. I'm gonna read that one again. I feel like I'm butchering it, and I want to honor Shan to the max. I also want this sun to set. Let me touch you. Let me touch you, sun. There it is. I turned the sun off. I turned the sun back on. Off. On, on. Yes! I am a child. Child of Mama Gaia. And I'll celebrate. And I'll enjoy the beauty of it till the day I'm dead. Have the most beautifulest day, everyone. I wholeheartedly love you all so very, very superest, the duperest, immeasurably macho grande, vastly, tremendously, mega massively, dearly. Melt and all of you oh so very wonderfully, amazingly, extraordinarily, remarkably, impressively, staggeringly, marvelously, magically gorgeous friends. As we love you, dear Shan. I love you so sincerely, genuinely, dearly as well. I want that sun to be center stage. Yeah. Yeah. We'll wait for it. I'll sit here with you, friends, until that sun disappears. Ooh. Oh. A few more seconds. Maybe 2 more minutes or so. Thank you, dearest sun, for offering us your light and warmth. We celebrate you dearly for everything you've done. Thank you for warming the other side of the world right now. I know you might do your job too well, according to some of the friends who are burning up right now. But I send you blessings on your path. I hear the long, short burp again. The only bird I'm hearing is a dove. Like that. We call it like Daif Sakur. Enjoying the sunset with you all is such a precious gift. It's like Morse code. Like that's the one I've been hearing. And there's a little and there's a woodpecker pecking wood. You can hear the you see the wind. It's trying to mess me up right now. Oh, my things are falling over again. What's up with Christian? He doing better? He's doing well. The last you spoke of him, he wasn't a struggle bus with the rest of us. He's doing well. It's the dove. Is that the one you're talking about? That's a dove. He's doing well. He's going over to London soon to go and visit the family. I think on the 16th of June or July, he's going through again. No, it's not doing it right now. Okay. Yeah, every time that bird hears you talking about it, it gets super shy and then it has to stay quiet. It's kind of hilarious. A few more moments. The sun is slowly starting to set past that horizon. Apparently, long, short, short is Morse code for the letter D. I mean, we are getting some vitamin D from the sun right now, so I feel it's relevant. I'm gonna actually do this. Let me stand up, Peppy. Let me stand up. Here you go, sweetie. Oh, oh. Get my sandals. Because I feel like that pole is ruining the ideal shot. Let's go, some guinea fowl. Yeah, no, that's a shot. No, that's a shot if I've ever seen one. I'm gonna start putting my stuff away. Arr, 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 arr. Oh, you silly girl. Peppy's trying to eat my feet. You see, it is so yassi bossy. The cold is everywhere. You foot eater. Whew. Oh wow. It's significantly warmer inside. You silly Billy. Ooh. I'm wondering if I want to be coy of some data. Could be terrorizing my feet. Yeah, Peppy. Yeah, I see you. I'm putting my stuff away quickly. Oh, goodness. Things are falling. Some katlachters singing their song. Your friends want to see what she's doing? How's that for a scene? The clouds being there as well, making it extra special. Are you being Lovins? Yeah. First thing even, the purple rain. You see, I'm so cold right now. I'm gonna do one more thing before I finish the stream off, just to give you friends some context. It's my poor digits. We have like one of those meat thermometers. I'm coming. Hi, sweetie. Hey, Joe Schmo. It's nice seeing you, friend. So, let's see. Ambient air is like 15 degrees Celsius right now. And if I touch my fingers to it, it's getting colder. My fingers are 14 degrees Celsius. You can see how I don't know if you can see how red they are, but they're like in that slow motion mode. Have you seen? I feel like I'm missing so much context. Manifestum concert tickets, one of my favorite artists, of course. So many blessings to you, friends. Thank you for joining me. Sending you 11s, some white shoulders. Joe Schmo is a gangster. The divine masculine energy. Hello, Mel. Hello, Shanansky. Hey, Jumpy and Malexa. Lovings to you, friends. Thank you for joining me, for sharing this beautiful sunset. I love you, friends. And I look forward to seeing you again soon. Tomorrow. Love you. Giving you gold.